It's 2024, you know what that means? WWE 2K14 is almost 11 years old. Feel old yet? Despite its age, WWE 2K14 still remains one of the greatest WWE games of all time, depending on who you ask. There's two types of people: the people that consider WWE 2K14 to be the greatest wrestling game of all time, and then the people that'll say, actually, WWE 2K14 sucks. AEW Fight Forever is the greatest wrestling game of all time. Regardless of your opinion on 2K14 though, whether you think it's good or bad or belongs in the trash with 2K20, you have to admit that 2K14 did a lot of things right. 30 years of WrestleMania, create a story, as well as a damn good roster. So in this video, I wanted to talk about all of those things and really find out what made WWE 2K14 so great. Released in 2013, WWE 2K14 was the final WWE game released under THQ, as during this time they were struggling with their biggest obstacle yet: bankruptcy. While when the games you're known for consist of Finding Nemo the video game and Fairly Odd Parents breaking the rules, you're bound to file for bankruptcy eventually. So before THQ is vanquished to the Shadow Realm, 2K came in like they were Jesus or something and saved 2K14 from being lost forever. Before 2K came along, WWE 2K14 would have just been called WWE14, continuing the number series of games, as I like to call them, of course being WWE12 and WWE13. So because of this, 2K slapped their name on the game, officially making it WWE 2K14. Anyways, now that the backstory's out of the way, what truly made 2K14 so special? Well, the first thing I want to talk about that I believe made 2K14 so special was the amount of match types that were in this game. Slobber knocker matches, I quit matches, inferno matches, it's all here. A lot of these match types would never appear in a WWE game again outside of the last gen versions of the 2K games, and some of these match types are only just now returning in 2K24. Matches like Gauntlet and Special Referee made their last appearance in this game. Look, as excited as I am for Gauntlet and Special Referee matches to come back in 2K24, there is no reason why they should have been gone from the games for 11 years. Let me ask you this though: if these matches had remained in the games from 2K15 and onwards, what major selling points would they have for 2K24? Exactly. None. Every match type in 2K14 is an absolute blast to play. Extreme Rules matches are chaotic as always, and hell, if you want, you can even do a fatal 4-way backstage brawl, which none of the later 2K games let you do, besides 2K24 of course, which will have this as an added feature. As for some of the other match types in this game, there's the First Blood match, Iron Man match, all of these matches being pretty fun in their own right. But I think that's enough about the match types. Now it's time to talk about the roster. 2K14's roster is absolutely stacked, with all the legends unlockable from 30 years of WrestleMania, which I'll talk about later, plus all the superstars in the base roster, not even including DLC. What you end up getting is an overall really solid roster. The roster got even better with the DLC because you could play as American Badass Undertaker, Ultimate Warrior, as well as WCW Big Show, which is just awesome. 2K14 didn't stop with just having a stacked roster though, because THQ and Yuke's went all in with this arena selection. Because of 30 years of WrestleMania, we got all 29 WrestleMania arenas, and what's even cooler in my opinion is despite this game coming out before WrestleMania 30 happened, they still managed to put a WrestleMania 30 arena in the game. It's more of a concept arena, as like I said, WrestleMania 30 hadn't happened yet at the time of this game's release, but with this WrestleMania 30 arena in the game though, it technically means that 2K14 had 30 WrestleManias represented in the game, which is just absolutely insane. As for the actual gameplay of 2K14, it's probably the best we've ever had in a wrestling game. Sure, the gameplay of previous games like SBR 2011 was great, but 2K14 just does so many things right. It's the perfect mix of that arcade style gameplay as well as the simulation style gameplay. The gameplay is fast and responsive and just overall really solid. The already solid gameplay becomes even better when you turn off stamina, so you can just wild out with no limits. Another cool thing this game had was OMG moments. Now sure, these would appear in the later games as well, but man, the OMG moments never fail to be super exciting and fun to watch. These add to the already incredible gameplay and make it even better. While the match types and gameplay are solid though, the real star of the show here is 30 years of WrestleMania. This mode takes you through 29 WrestleManias and sees you playing at least 1 to 3 matches from each WrestleMania, all the way from the first WrestleMania to what was the most recent WrestleMania at that time, of course being WrestleMania 29. Look, all I gotta say is, holy shit, how did they do this in 2013? The fact that even while THQ was in their final days of existing as a company, they managed to fit this many matches into this mode is insane. We're only getting 21 matches in 2K24 for its 40 years of WrestleMania mode, but a dying THQ was able to fit 46 of the greatest WrestleMania matches of all time and Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 20 into this game. This mode to this day is really fun to play through. Seeing all these iconic WrestleMania matches recreated with in-game cutscenes is just awesome, and just being able to play through all these matches yourself is always going to be really cool. Once you finish 30 years of WrestleMania though, there's one more game mode. That mode being none other than the Streak. This mode is maybe the greatest mode that's ever been in a wrestling game, and I wish they would bring it back in some shape or form. The Streak mode is all about one thing: The Undertaker's streak. Wow, you don't say. You can either play as The Undertaker and try your best to defend your streak for as long as you can in a slobber knocker match until you lose, which GG's if you can make it to 53-0 like I did while recording for this video, because this mode can get pretty challenging. The real main event of this mode though is Defeat the Streak. Defeat the Streak sees you picking anyone from the roster except for The Undertaker, obviously, and attempting to beat The Undertaker's streak at WrestleMania. What I love about Defeat the Streak though is that this isn't some easy match where you can just win in a few minutes after hitting 1 or 2 finishers. No, the matches in Defeat the Streak are legitimately challenging and can be a huge pain in the ass to win, especially considering the fact that The Undertaker literally has superpowers in this mode. When you are able to beat him though, it's always super satisfying. Yeah, fuck you, Undertaker! Overall, 30 years of WrestleMania and the Streak are really solid modes that make 2K14 an even better game than it already is. I feel like these modes help 2K14 in becoming a more memorable wrestling game, because when you think of 2K14, the first things you probably think of are 30 years of WrestleMania and the Streak. That just goes to show you how good these modes truly were, and unfortunately no other WWE game after this has been able to have a mode that's recaptured the same magic as the Streak in 30 years of WrestleMania. Will 2K24 be able to make its 40 years of WrestleMania mode as good as 2K14's 30 years of WrestleMania mode? I doubt it. Even if 2K24 does manage to be better than 2K14 in that aspect though, there's still one mode 2K14 has that no other WWE game has had since, and it just so happens to be the most requested feature to come back in the new 2K games. That mode, of course, being the WWE Shop. Oh, well then, that means all that's left to talk about is Create a Story. Create a Story is a mode that's loved by just about everyone who's played 2K14 or any of the games before 2K14 that also had the mode. This mode allowed you to make any kind of story you wanted, so while 2K14 didn't have a season mode, you can instead make your own season mode with whatever wacky storylines you can come up with. This is a mode I wish would come back because I never really got to experience Create a Story to its fullest as a kid, as I just didn't really understand it back then. With all that being said, here's to hoping 2K25 has Create a Story. WWE 2K14 was and still is a great wrestling game. The gameplay is absolutely fantastic. Even today in 2024, the match types are really fun to play. 30 years of WrestleMania plus the Streak are great side modes. And what the hell am I saying? Just bring Create a Story back, please.